Okay, well, good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock on the dot, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for everyone for joining tonight. My name is Ashley Bernier, and I'm accompanied by my colleague, Victoria Wen, and we are here representing Waste Management of Orange County. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the City of Mission Viejo's new Senate Bill 1383 Residential Organics Program, along with the new waste management containers you may have received or are going to receive very soon. So without further ado, we will go ahead and get started on the presentation. And also, just as a reminder, we will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. Currently, the question box is closed. We're going to hold all questions till the end, but at the end of the presentation, we'll go ahead and remind everyone when it is open, and all you have to do to participate is there's a chat box in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you can go ahead and type in questions there, and we'll be able to answer at that time. But okay, to start off this presentation, we will go ahead and talk about first, what is Senate Bill 1383? So this Senate bill was recently passed by the state of California, and it is going into effect on January 1st. So just a few short, or not even a few, a couple short months away. This law requires that all residencies, multifamily complexes, and businesses to source, separate, or just separate their organic waste from the trash. That means that any type of organic waste can be like food waste or green waste or any type of food soiled paper. Really, any type of organic material cannot be inside the trash container because they want it to be diverted and either turned into compost or renewable energy. And that way it's going towards beneficial reuse rather than decomposing in the landfill. Now, SB 1383 does require a lot of other things just besides this as well. There's a lot of contamination monitoring that is required. They want to make sure that everyone is utilizing their containers properly. So, for example, your trash container would be solely for things that are not recyclable, but the recycling container, they want to make sure we're recycling everything we can, like the paper, the cardboard, the bottles and cans. We'll go into more detail of what's recyclable in a minute. And then this also includes organic waste. So now food waste and green waste as well will need to be source separated and not be going into the trash container. There will be lots of educational materials. I know many of you have already received your SB 1383 service guide along with your letter talking about the new carts. A lot of people have been asking, well, why am I getting new carts and why are there new colors? And really, the first reason is, well, we actually have a new agreement with the City of Mission Viejo, and part of that agreement did require new carts for the city. But in addition, the reason for these new colors is because of Senate Bill 1383, there is a standardization of colors now throughout the state of California, so that no matter what city you live in, the colors will now mean the same thing, and it will be less confusing to everyone, so that you always will know that, you know, a blue container will necessarily mean recycling, the green container will mean the organics, and the black or gray container will mean the trash. Now, of course, you know, this is a state program, this was a state mandate that has been passed down. So of course, if you want to learn more information about this law, see the law in detail, you absolutely can. And I did post CalRecycle's website. They are the state agency that oversees this law here below. And I'll also have it as a helpful contact at the end of this presentation. Now, why was Senate Bill 1383 passed by the state of California? And really, this is in support of California's climate change mitigation goals. What they are saying by that is that when organic waste goes into the landfill and it decomposes, it releases a gas called methane, which is actually a powerful greenhouse gas that can contribute to global climate change. So when we're taking now this green waste and this food waste out of the landfill and we're either recycling it, you can turn it into compost or renewable energy. Now we can use that material for something else than rather than being going to the landfill and releasing this powerful gas that contributes to climate change. In addition, I mentioned there's also other aspects to this law. They have been studying about food insecurity in the state of California. This is a common fact that they found, is that 1 in 4 children go hungry in California. And now with this law, there is a 20% edible food recovery program, meaning that, maybe very large generators, like very large grocery stores, food distributors, venues, maybe they have a lot of edible food that is not necessarily bad, but that could go to people in need. Well, this law requires jurisdictions to provide edible food recovery programs and education to these large generators to help support these edible food recovery programs and get food to people in need. So there's also other aspects of this law as well. But right now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Victoria, and she's going to go a little bit more in depth about what goes where and how to participate in the new waste management program here at Mission Viejo.
All right, thank you, Ashley. So now that we've explained why we're getting new carts, let's review what goes in each cart. So as a reminder, the cart with the black lid is going to be for trash only, and the trash cart is for waste that cannot be recycled or composted, and these materials include styrofoam containers and packaging, non-recyclable plastics, plastic liners, bags or films, utensils, wax-coated paper cups, pet waste and diapers, garden hoses, and non-donatable clothing, bedding, and textiles. And we also want to note to not place needles, chemical, paint, fluorescent light bulbs, propane tanks, or aerosol cans, batteries, or electronics, or construction debris in your containers. If you do have sharps, one of the places you can drop that off is at the Norman P. Murray Community and Senior Center. And the other items are mainly hazardous household waste items, which cannot go in the trash. And next we have recycling, which, as a reminder, now has a blue lid. So you want to make sure when you're recycling that the materials you're putting in there are clean and dry in order to avoid contamination. And the items that you can recycle are aluminum cans, empty aerosol cans, tin cans, steel cans, glass bottles, glass food jars, different papers like newspaper, cardboard, paper envelopes, junk mail, magazines, phone books, paper bags, and non-metallic wrapping paper, as well as plastic bottles, jugs, jars, containers, and tubs. And you also want to make sure, besides it being clean and dry, that the recyclables are loose. So you don't want to put your plastic bags in the recycling because those can't get recycled and it can get tangled in our equipment, and it's quite dangerous for our workers. And next, your organics cart has a green lid and will now be commingled with food waste and green waste. So the types of items that you can put in here include grass, leaves, tree branches, shrubs, and brush, plants, weeds, garden trimmings, as well as food, which include meat, fish, poultry, dairy products, fruits and vegetables, bread, pasta, rice, and grains, bones, eggshells, seafood shells, plate scrapings, and food soiled napkins or paper, such as napkins or wrappers from your like a paper bag if you get your food in a wrapped paper bag. And don't put any animal waste, soil, rocks, paper, plastic, silverware, dishware, glass, metal, rubber, or food packaging material and compostable or biodegradable products in there. And when using these 3 new containers, we want to make sure to avoid contamination, as it may potentially result in a contamination charge if it's excessively contaminated multiple times. But we do understand this is a new transition to make, and we've provided educational signage that were sent with your carts and service guides in the mail. And you can also visit wm.com/recycleright for access to recycling education resources, or you can contact the Mission Viejo Recycling Coordinator at mvrecycling@wm.com for further questions or recycling support. And as we approach January 1st, Waste Management will also deliver one kitchen food scraps pail to each household. So you can use this pail to collect your food scraps inside your kitchen and then empty it directly into your organics container outside. If you choose to collect your organic food waste and food scraps inside of a bag, please empty the contents directly into the organics container and put the bag that you use to hold it with into the trash container, because we don't want plastic bags going into the green container. And also please note this pail is a one-time delivery for the start of this program. If you need additional pails, these can be purchased from online retailers. And again, this is a big change to transition to, so we wanted to provide some tips and tricks to keep your organics pail clean and fresh. The first one being to empty out, rinse and dry your kitchen pail daily, and you can line your pail with a piece of paper or paper napkin to absorb any of the liquids and food waste to mitigate odors there. You could also line it with green waste, or buy a charcoal filter for your organics bin to mitigate odors. Charcoal usually absorbs those smells. You can also keep your food scraps in the fridge or the freezer and then empty it directly into the organics cart on your service day. And all single-family residents are eligible to receive one free cart exchange per year. So this is your green cart, not the pail. And you can schedule a exchange or by contacting WM customer service at 949-642-1191, or you could visit the website for assistance. And here we have our useful contact information. If you need any assistance with the new container exchange, we have a specific phone number up there. It's 866-723-9077. And then we have our standard waste management customer service, as well as an email, and we have a digital chat online as well and a mobile app. And we also have our Mission Viejo Residential Services website, where you could look at things such as the senior discount. And we have free recycling education materials and resources at wm.com/recycleright. And we have the Mission Viejo Recycling Coordinator email, as mentioned before, and Cal Recycle's SB 1383 website, where you can find more information on the state mandate.
All right, well, thank you so much, Victoria. I appreciate you going through that in detail. At this time, I wanted to open up the Q&A just so that we can start answering some of the questions. We know there's many in the community. So just as a reminder, we're going to go ahead and open up that queue now. At the top right-hand corner of the screen, there should be a chat box where you can start entering your questions, which will be funneled through to us, and we can begin to answer. But thank you so much for, again, joining us tonight. We sincerely appreciate your time and certainly understand this adjustment. It is a big change throughout the state of California that all of us willing to learn, to participate and grow with. So of course, we are here to support in any way that we can and to help make sure you are successful. And we are ready and excited to take your questions. So I will give it about a minute or two to allow those to come in. So in the meantime, we will just hang out and see what comes through. Okay, it looks like we have our first question. And one of them is about pizza boxes. So, question is, can pizza boxes go into the green bin now? And, what happens? Well, I guess it's a two-part question. What happens to all of the bins that have been replaced, meaning all the old bins that we are taking away? So to answer the first part of that question, The green bins are okay for food soiled paper. So if you have a pizza box that is completely food soiled, like grease, cheese, that is perfectly okay to put that portion inside the green container. However, what I would recommend for the side that isn't food soiled, sometimes the top is clean and dry and doesn't have any food waste on it. I would actually rip that off and put that in the recycling, because that is also cardboard is very recyclable as well, so long as it is not food soiled. And then for the other part of that question, yes, all of the containers that are being removed are being recycled and refurbished accordingly. So we are not wasting any. Of course, yeah, the ones that are just not usable anymore, they are recycled into new containers. One other question is about the compostable bags. Can I use compostable bags to put food scraps in? Now, for the actual putting into the green container that Waste Management collects, we do ask that no bags be placed inside this container. Unfortunately, it does. These products, many that are labeled compostable or biodegradable, unfortunately do not break down at the same rate that composting facilities need it to make it into that soil at this current time. However, if you are using a bag to line your pail or to collect it inside your home, that is perfectly okay. We just ask that you